Town of Genoa, 6 o'clock. We're going to call this meeting to order. Number 2, we'll have Dairyland put their thing on.
Go ahead. Yeah, you're up for a presentation.
Thanks for. Does that work? Amplified a little bit? No. Is that better?
Yes.
Feels louder, okay. Sorry about that. All right. Well, thanks for letting us come out tonight. Excited to talk about the project and answer a few questions. I think the plan is to get through the slide deck first and then take questions. Anytime we have more than 3 Dairyland team members, we start with a safety moment. So had a little bit of snow this morning, a little bit nicer out today. So just try to be aware of if we get some rain or anything on everybody's way home to be safe. Tornado season, I think no basement here, so we're probably just getting away from the windows. And I know my 8-year-old will be hassling me soon when they talk about this at school to make sure our storm box has updated snacks in it. So everybody should probably check their storm boxes too. I'm Luke Fuller. I work on the government relations and grants team at Dairyland Power. Dairyland Power is a generation and transmission cooperative. So it's different than a distribution cooperative, right? There are folks in the room who are maybe Vernon Electric members or Scenic Rivers members. Dairyland provides wholesale power to Vernon and Scenic Rivers, along with 16 other distribution cooperatives in the state of Wisconsin, 24 kind of up and down the Mississippi in Illinois, Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin. Additionally, we provide power to 27 municipal utilities, and we're headquartered here in La Crosse, Wisconsin, or up the road in La Crosse, Wisconsin, sorry. And we provide energy to about 3,250,000 people. In a second, I'm going to turn it over to Lori Dunham from Gridline's Heartland. They're our partner on the Maribel Transmission Project. We're going to talk a little bit about the grid and how power gets to your home, how this project was directly assigned by MISO to Dairyland to construct, and then a little bit about the project as well, and then take some questions after that.
Thank you. Lori Dunham, I am a Director of Development with Gridline's Power. Just so you all know, I am from Wisconsin, born and raised both of my kids in Wisconsin. I live in a town called Oconomowoc, if any of you are familiar with that. Every other letter's a no, right between Milwaukee and Madison. Been on every spelling test since I was yay high all the way up, so I do know how to spell that. And you will see a few people behind us today. We were in town doing open houses this week, so we brought along some of our subject matter experts in the different areas. So when we are done with the presentation and do take your questions, we have the appropriate people for that. So Gridline's Heartland is a subsidiary of NextEra Energy Transmission. We are a leading competitive transmission company. We not only develop, we finance, construct, operate, and maintain transmission assets in North America. We have approximately 3,100 circuit miles of high voltage transmission assets in operation or in development in 18 states and in Canada. And as Luke indicated, we are a partner with them on this project, and I will say it's been a very complementary partnership. Dairyland has such strong area of expertise in the region here, and Gridline's Heartland brings in some of our expertise from building transmission. So one of the things we get asked a lot about is, we don't need this power, we have electricity, we have no problems, everything else. So we thought it would be good to cover a little bit about how electricity gets to your home. It becomes something that we're so used to. We walk in the house, flip on our light switch, the lights go on. Yes, I know when storms come through, sometimes we don't have power, but for the majority of the time, we do have power. So generation is cited all throughout the state of Wisconsin, all throughout all the states. And that generation comes in different forms. It can be from fossil fuel fired coal plants, it can be natural gas, it can be nuclear, it can be coal, it can be wind, solar, hydro, and even storage generation, so battery storage. What happens is the power is produced there, and it goes to a step-up transformer where the voltage is increased and it pushes the power through the high voltage lines, the transmission lines. The higher the voltage, the faster it goes, and the less losses on the line. From there, it goes to a transmission substation where the electricity is stepped down for use to the local distribution systems. So what's interesting in those substations, you'll see lines going out different directions as it goes out to the different distribution substations through the distribution lines. And then that low voltage electricity is carried then to your local area. You'll see the pad mounted or a pole mounted transformer out on the line. And then that comes into your home, your farm, or your business. So it flows through the meters, and then to your service panel inside of your home, then to the outlet inside of your home, or your farm, or your business. So it's interesting when I look at this slide. I've been in the utility business now 30 years. I started when I was like 8, just so we're clear, so I am not that old. But I used to work for We Energies in Wisconsin, and I operated the generation there. And so you don't realize there's somebody, several people sitting at a desk monitoring the generation. You have your plants going along, and all of a sudden, maybe you have bad coal and one trips off. Or they have to take it offline because they have to make repairs, to the equipment. And so what happens then? Your power isn't disrupted. They have other sources throughout the state for generation. Similar with transmission. I did also operate the transmission for many years. And, you'll be having a nice quiet night monitoring the power system, and all of a sudden, a line goes out. Something happens. Yes, I have had a drunk hit a pole. I know that's surprising in Wisconsin, and take out a whole line that had to be broken up. So I guess my point though is, there's generation throughout the state, there's transmission throughout the state. You lose a line, or a tornado comes through an area, takes something out, that power is rerouted to other lines. It's kind of like, I often describe it as like the interstate system. Years ago when we used to travel up north to like St. Germain and go fishing. And it would take us, 5-6 hours to drive up there. Where now with the interstate, would take us 3 hours to drive up there because it does move faster. I kind of look at that somewhat like transmission. The transmission lines are that interstate where the power is moving faster, so your car is moving faster. And then, we get onto the highway or the side streets, being the distribution before you get to your home. So this project came about by MISO, and many of you have maybe heard of MISO. It stands for Mid-Continent Independent System Operator, and that's a regional transmission organization. So what you may hear called an RTO is the abbreviation. So MISO is the electric grid operator, and they're also the regional transmission planner for central U.S. areas. And it operates in 15 states and the Canadian province of Manitoba. So it covers all the Midwest states, and then they head on down along the coast down to as far as Louisiana and Mississippi as part of their whole regional area that they plan for. MISO is a nonprofit that has the responsibility, which was established by FERC. So that's the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission,